Hello everyone, this is Ian Walker here with another new YouTube video. Actually a hot take. I am doing this video today is for the purpose of doing a comic book review. It's something that I promised on my Instagram page. Those of you who follow me and who have been following me on Instagram or here on YouTube, you guys know that I myself am a comic book creator, and I am a comic book writer as well, with my Story Pantheon, which is now on Kickstarter. So in the link below, it's going to have the link there for that Kickstarter. If you want to pre-order your copy now, that is done. So you'll be pretty much pre-ordering that copy. But one of my biggest things as a creator is I think it is important for us creators not to just, you know, pimp out our own stuff, but I think it's important that we stick together and come together and support each other as comic book creators. And one of those things that I wanted to do was purchase a comic book of a brand new black-owned creator, a black-owned comic book company that has been in the news and has gotten a lot of fanfare over the last couple of months, and that is called the Rippaverse. The Rippaverse was created by Eric July and his company, Rippaverse. It's actually here in Texas where I am too, so that's pretty cool. And his flagship title is called ISOM #1, which I have a copy of right here. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a review of that book here today. Now, what's refreshing about ISOM #1, I just got this book yesterday, and I took it and I read the whole thing. It's about a 96-page comic book, more so graphic novel, and it's a black superhero about this character called ISOM. I definitely have some thoughts that I wanted to go over and share. I'm gonna share a few interiors and things like that. I don't want to show you the whole thing because I do want you guys to go and support Mr. July and the Rippaverse, and pick up your own copy. Okay, so so as far as is my part is, I wanted to go ahead and review this book because I thought it was important for us to get some eyes and ears on what's going on here. I know I'm a newer YouTube. My review's probably not going to be that much, but I still want to put in my 2 cents because I'm a creator myself, and so I thought I'd throw my ring in the hat as far as my opinions is concerned. So this is my hot take on ISOM #1. Okay. So this is a book that is created, like I said, the writer is Mr. Eric July. The artist on the book here is Cliff Richards. Coloring was done by Gabe Eltaeb. Now, Gabe Eltaeb, if I'm not mistaken, was a comic book colorist for DC, and he left the mainstream to join Mr. July in the Rippaverse and helped him with this book. So that is something that's really cool. Upon first glance at seeing this book and receiving it in the mail, one, the packaging was incredible. Had his own, his own label on there, Rippaverse Comics and all of that, which was really cool. It was packaged up really nice, contained very nicely, bags, boards, all that stuff. Anybody could do that though, right? But what impressed me the most was the quality of this book. I mean, this book feels great. I would go so far as to say that it feels better than most graphic novels that I pick up in a comic book store. It's not that overly glossy look and feel. I like this very soft feel to the books. That's more of a personal preference. I know glossy is the way to go, but on a personal note, I've never been that huge a fan of the glossy deal. And this here wraparound cover in the back shows off ISOM even more, which I think is very nice. As I open up the book, it's very solid. This is a perfect bound. Well, it looks perfect bound on first glance, but actually if you look inside of it, you've also got, I don't know if you guys can see it there, but you got some saddle stitching in there too. So it's like the magazines, which is the individual sections of the book, were put together and then saddle stitched, and then taking those magazines then did the perfect binding that way, which reinforces the solidness of the book, which is impressive. Most graphic novels, when you get them, they're going to be kind of ripping apart. You kind of see the glue, can sometimes separate from the edge of the spine with perfect bound books. So having that extra reinforcement makes this a very, very solid book, which is really cool. And it's put together very well. Inside, the artist here, I'm just going to show you a page or two here, is very cool. It looks really nice and very well put together, which is something I appreciate, okay? Alright, so I'm going to stop showing some pages because I don't want to show off everything, but it's cool. Now, the first thing that this screams at me when I got this book and when I see this book, brother got connections, brother got resources, okay? So being a first-time comic book creator, the quality and the way he presents everything seems as if he's been in this comic book game for years and years and years. So obviously Mr. July has taken the time to not only understand comics like he already does, but he's studied the business, he studied presentation, he studied so many things in the comic industry, obviously the do's and the don'ts, and he's made sure to indicate these in the production of his book. So he has a very, very solid product here, and it looks very good. So just going based off of that right there, I'm very impressed with that. If we go with the art inside of the book, as I just showed you, the art is pretty good. Let's see here again. Here, Mr. Richards is the artist in this book. He does a very good job with a lot of the characters. Here, the designs look very nice. The colorist, Mr. Yatel, does a wonderful job. Here, looks very, very, very reminiscent of, like I said, one of the mainstream comic books that you see out here. The story itself is, I'm not going to say that the story is blow your mind crazy, out of this world. I think it is a very basic story. I think it is very, I guess the word I could say is safe. This is a story that you see out of, something that you might watch on TV. So I would not go far as to say that originality is there so much as far as the story, the beginning story that he chose to tell here. But it's enough to get a good start on where he wants to go. You can see that he's really wanting to take the time to build a universe, to build characters in a way that is going to be kind of memorable. My problems, I will say, I guess my negatives that I'm going to have to bring out here, because I don't just want to talk about all the positives. This is a great book. I really enjoyed reading it. I like the dialogue. I like the characters themselves. But there are some negatives that I had reading the book that I think should be addressed. And again, these are all personal preferences as a lifelong comic reader. I've been reading comics since I was 7, so on a personal note, these are some things that I would like to, that I thought was important and necessary for me, especially as far as getting me hooked on a book or a character. We don't know who he is. We don't know really who or what ISOM is. The characters in this book, he has a concept of characters in here that I guess the Rippaverse's version of mutants are called accepts, which I'm going to assume mean exceptional human beings. So these are exceptional human beings with powers. We don't know. We're not sure if ISOM is one of those accepts or not. It's hinted at it, but we don't know. Number two, we were introduced to a major character, looks to be a major character in the Rippaverse, but we don't see them much. We see them for a couple of seconds and then they're gone. I would have liked to have seen a lot more of that character, maybe working alongside of ISOM and taking care of the situation that this story tells. And then another thing is I would have liked to have seen more ISOM in action. Now, once you get the comic book, you can be like, what do you mean more of him in action? But if you get this book and you read it, you're going to see possibly what I mean. Being the fact that this is a 96-page graphic novel, I feel like we should have seen more of the ISOM persona, that ISOM character. And we didn't get that. And I understand that he's wanting to build a universe and build character. I do appreciate the fact that he's wanting to build on characters and things like that. But I do wish that he would have we would have seen a lot more, seeing that actual hero in action. Another thing that was kind of interesting for me, I'll say, was I felt like as a reader that I was just dropped in the middle of the story. I can't say that I felt like this was an origin story. And when you're introducing a brand new character in a brand new universe, again, this is on a personal level, I personally like to see an origin of where they came from, who they are, why they're doing what they're doing. And the way the story is being told in ISOM, it's like you're being dropped in the middle of everything that has already happened or is happening. So that right there kind of, I got to be honest, was a little bit off-putting, because reading the story, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea not only who the characters are, but why they are who they are, why they're in the places they're at, what positions they're in. They make hints about it, but there's nothing that I can go back to justify, saying, oh, okay, well, I see why they're in this situation or whatever. Again, when you read the book, you're going to see a lot of that. And I on a personal note, I just feel like that's a little, I do feel that's a little off-putting. To make references to a lot of things that I have no context to go back to understand and flesh out the character even more. Especially it being a story where it's the first time we see and meet him. I think there needs to be a lot more fleshed out. And even if there's no context, giving us something, whether it be in the exposition of the story itself or just something to kind of help to understand. So there are some hints about ISOM and what's going on. So I was able to put two and two together with a few things. But again, as a brand new character starting out, I feel like we should have learned more about him as a person and who he is. We got some personality traits there, but I just felt like I felt like we could have. This would have been more of an origin story. Maybe a story that could have been told in another part or whatever. Now, I don't know what's going to be said in the second book. I'm going to say that if this was a book that was done by the big two or the big three, and they told a story in this fashion, I can't say that I would honestly pick it up again. Okay? And that's because the big three knows better, right? They've been doing it for years. They understand the nuance of story, bringing a new character out, telling the story of a character for the first time, all of that. But since this is an independent publisher, an independent creator, who is trying to build something new and is also learning in his journey as well, I want to go on the journey with him. And I want to see where he's going to go with this, because there's definitely things that I don't know, that I don't understand. And Eric's thought process is most likely a lot different than myself. There's probably a reason why he went this route. So I want to see what that route is. So I'm definitely going to continue on with that. If I had to give the highest marks, like I said, it would have to be the quality and the production quality of this book. I mean, he's got some great colors. He's got some great art. He has told a pretty cohesive story, and he has some setups here that are very nice to look into. Again, once you pick up your copy and you read it, you're going to see what I'm talking about. It's cool. It's cool for an indie publisher, for an independent comic book. This is by far, hands down, the best I have ever seen. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna keep supporting the Rippaverse. I'm gonna see where he's going to go with this. I'm going to continue to support this and see where this story goes. And just watch the evolution, man. Watch it get better. And I am looking forward to it. So I will say, Mr. July, if by chance you ever watch this video, I appreciate you stepping up, using your resources to create a brand new comics world, to read a comic book where I'm reading a story and not an agenda. Thank you for that, most importantly. And in creating something that's recognizable, resonates not just with, us as black, me personally as a black man, and other people of color, but the characters in the story. He has everybody of all races in the story that play good parts in there. So it's awesome. He's telling a story, and I really, really, really appreciate that more than anything. And this is extremely inspiring too. Like I said, yes, he has a lot. Mr. July does have a lot more resources than most of us indie creators do. But the fact that this first-time indie publisher can put out something that looks like he's been in the game for 20 plus years is incredible to me. And also is a testament to putting out the best that you can as a creator. I'm not saying this to compare Mr. July to anybody else, but I will say that it is inspiring in the case that, as a creator, if you want to put something out and your passion is in it, do it to the best of your ability and put out a solid product to do so. And have a physical product that people can back up and look behind and stand behind. If I was Mr. July and I saw this, I would be back. I would have the utmost confidence in this project as well, because it's beautiful. The quality, everything speaks for itself. So there's nothing bad that I can say about any of this. Okay? So that's my hot take of ISOM #1 from the Rippaverse. I'm looking forward to seeing more from Mr. July and his team, as well as a lot of the other characters that he's introduced and that he's got coming down the pike. So go ahead and check it out. I'm going to put the information to that website down in the descriptions below, to get your copy of ISOM #1 if you haven't already. Along with that, I'm going to be putting my links as well. I actually have a book that is on Kickstarter right now. The first issue is completed, so you go to Kickstarter to pre-order your copy of issue 1 of Pantheon, which is my personal comic book project that I wrote and created and did the artwork for. And go pick that up on Kickstarter. That campaign's going on now and ends on the 8th of March. So I will put the information to that below. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. If you're new to my channel, please like, comment, subscribe, hit those notification buttons there so that you know whenever I go live here on YouTube or when I put out a new video, you'll be alerted to that information. If you want to also reach me, you can also reach me at idwalkerart@gmail.com or reach me on Instagram at the Art of Ian D. Walker, or on the podcast page, which is the Chillin' Sketch Podcast as well. So it's Instagram.com/Chillin' Sketch Podcast. All right. And then also I have a Patreon also. If you guys want to join the art club there, you get prints sent to you through email or physical print sent to you once a month with some stickers and any extra goodies that I have once a month. So anyways, with that said, again, Mr. July, I hope if you end up watching this video, I appreciate everything that you're doing. And for all you other creators out there, please support fellow creators. It's not just about you. It's about all of us. Okay? So let's spread the word about each other's projects, and let's make our own universes and support those, shall we? So with that said, I'll catch you guys later. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.